This is a bigger job than just a play caller and a schemer. I think we've seen where guys have been excellent play callers, but they got to the head coach seat and they couldn't handle the adversity, the conflict management, all the things that it's a CEO job. It really is.
Brandon Beane on the deliberations that led to Joe Brady getting a promotion to head coach of the Buffalo Bills. My God, that happened yesterday morning. It feels like it happened 3 weeks ago. That came out of nowhere, too, the reporting, and we confirmed with unnamed sources, but then they announced it anyway, that Joe Brady has a 5-year deal to take over. He was the offensive coordinator. He had been on the coaching staff for 4 years. So he was a key member of a coaching staff that had been unable to get through what Terry Pagula, the owner of the team, called just 1 week ago the proverbial playoff wall. He was a key member of it.
Yep.
Quarterback's coach for a year and a half, became the offensive coordinator when Ken Dorsey was fired midway through the 2023 season, offensive coordinator in 24, offensive coordinator in 25. Important job considering the head coach is a defensive guy. We've hit the proverbial playoff wall, and the offensive coordinator gets promoted. And the GM get promoted. That's a hell of an outcome to the Broncos-Bills playoff game from just 11 days ago. Head coach gets fired, offensive coordinator gets promoted, GM gets promoted.
Yeah. So Mike, you got a first-time head coach who's taking over a team. I don't think this has happened, by the way. A first-time head coach taking over a team with Super Bowl aspirations, and everything he does short of getting to the Super Bowl will be seen as a disappointment. I can't really think of an example like that. Maybe, I know George Seifert hadn't coached before.
I was just thinking of him. I was just thinking of George Seifert.
Yeah, Seifert. So Bill Walsh leaves a championship team. Seifert takes over, and they come back and they win the championship. And if they hadn't won, I don't think they'd say, oh, Seifert, what a great disappointment. You didn't come back, and you weren't a back-to-back, a part of a team that was a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. And they'd already achieved it. I mean, San Francisco had already won. They won in 81, and they won in 84, so they'd won championships before. The Bills have not won a Super Bowl. They haven't been to the Super Bowl since the 90s. And a first-time head coach in his 30s is supposed to come in and do what Sean McDermott couldn't do. Good luck. Good luck. It's an impossible position to be in for Joe Brady. But good for him. 5-year contract. A pretty good job. It's not as good as I thought it was 2 weeks ago. Before I heard that Terry Pagula press conference, I thought it was a great job. Now I think it's okay. But he's got Josh Allen, who he's worked with already, and he's got a pretty good roster, a team that should be competing at least for playoff appearances. We'll see, though. I think the pressure is going to be enormous for Joe Brady.
You mentioned Seifert. Seifert was 49 when he got the 49ers job, coincidentally. They had just won the Super Bowl to cap the 1988 season, so they had gotten to the top of the mountain 3 times already by the time Seifert. So there was less pressure. The Bills haven't been in the Super Bowl since 1993, and they've never won one. So they already had their rings. This was just, let's see if it can continue after Bill Walsh surprisingly retired after Super Bowl 23. Also, Seifert had been a head coach before. He was the head coach of Andrew Bernard's alma mater, Cornell, 1975 through 1976. Oh. And then he came to the NFL after that. Came to the NFL with, well, he went to Stanford with Bill Walsh, then came with Walsh to the NFL in 1980 and was there the entire time. So was the defensive coordinator under Walsh and became the head coach and won 2 total Super Bowls, 89 and 94, and then exited after the 96 season. So for Brady, it's very different. He's 36. He's never been a head coach. He had been the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers under Matt Rule and then landed in Buffalo 2022 after Brian Daboll left to become the head coach of the Giants. He had been the offensive coordinator. Ken Dorsey came in, and then that opened the door for Dorsey to exit and Joe Brady to get bumped up. and now Brady gets bumped up again. And you're right, the pressure is unprecedented on Joe Brady, because anything less than getting to the divisional round and losing in overtime is failure. It's failure. Well, no, it's unacceptable. The mandate is to go beyond that. It's a given you're going to get to overtime of the AFC divisional round game. You got to do more than that to avoid failure. And the 5-year deal, that's kind of a low-key concession by the team of dysfunction pay, because usually it's a 4-year deal. Now, if you go all the way to 6, you're flat out admitting you're a hot mess of an NFL franchise. The 6-year deal is reserved to the teams that need to just say, okay, we know that we're a mess, and we're gonna make sure that this guy has a financial commitment the last 6 years. It's almost like saying we need that in place to keep us from doing something stupid like firing him after 1 year, like Woody Johnson apparently would have done with Aaron Glenn, but for the buyout. When you look at all the overhaul with the Jets coaching staff, I think it's a pretty clear indication. Probably would have been a clean sweep after 1 year if you didn't have a massive buyout. So Joe Brady's got a buyout that will keep Terry Pagula from making another emotional decision when he walks into the locker room after a playoff loss and he reads the room in a way that causes him to conclude the only way to solve this is to fire my head coach. And I still don't understand that. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.